Hello, everybody. This is Tyrell, and it is another episode of the LetsHeal Podcast. And I have a special guest, so stay tuned. Stay right there. I'll be right back. If it goes on. Mm-hmm. Maybe I won't be right back. So I'm back, and as promised, I have a special guest. Let me introduce you all to Mr. Greg Williams. Greg, are you there?
Yes, how are you guys? Good evening. Thank you so much, Tyrell, for the opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to join you tonight.
All right, sounds good. So since we got you on here, like I was just talking about, I'm gonna go ahead and let you introduce yourself to the world and tell everybody who you are and what you do, so that people can kind of get an idea of who they're going to be sitting in front of tonight.
Awesome. So as you said, I'm Greg Williams. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm the CEO and founder of BTG Solutions. By day, I am a retail executive, but I own a company called BTG Solution, where I provide strategy work, insight planning, marketing, anything business related. I offer advice and consult on those areas. Specifically, what I hone in on is infrastructure and legitimacy. So helping people identify what they are passionate about, help them identify a business idea and put the correct plan in place to execute it is literally what I do. I'm very passionate about particularly Black businesses, entrepreneurs, minorities, young people. One of the biggest things I love this year is I wish someone would have taught me business acumen as a young entrepreneur. And that's really what I'm gunning for, to help teach people to do it the right way so that it can last for a long time.
Definitely. All right. Well, I'm just taking a moment. If you want to take a moment too and share the live to get some people on, and so that we can get a bigger audience. Like, oh, it's gonna be breaking stuff. All right. So, as I'm trying to set this back up over here, having technical difficulties. So today's show is going to be about how to prepare your mind for growth. And the reason why I chose this topic was because I feel like everybody needs to be preparing themselves for change, for growth, for going into new things. We just had the new year. We just all experienced some crazy stuff with COVID, and it changed a lot of things. And I chose Greg because, to be completely honest, I was scrolling through social media and he had a post that was extremely positive. It kind of stuck out to me. So I chose him. And then, of course, I've done my research on him and looked at him. I was like, he's perfect for the growth, preparing people for growth. And from what I saw, you have the tools and the skills and the know-how to give the people the right information to help them grow or prepare their mind for growth. I can't just say that you are going to make people or change people, but you can help give them tips to help them grow. So that's what we're talking about today. And I'm just going to jump right in. So the first thing that I usually think about and talk about when it comes to growth is doing an inventory. So I mean, you have to know where you're starting from. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to realistically look at yourself, your surroundings, where you are currently, by doing an inventory of yourself. Absolutely. Be it work, stuff like that. So what kind of suggestion would you give or for the inventory?
Absolutely. So I think inventory, which is so interesting. So I have 3 P's, and I think all of them are going to align with your questions. But the first P, I believe, as it relates to inventory, is purpose. And with purpose, that includes identity. But most importantly, it's like really thinking like, what am I doing? Right. And how do I pull this all together? Inventory, and just in the technical term, is literally just counting everything and seeing what's missing. And I think a lot of times we press go without understanding what arsenals we have. Do we have all the correct resources? Do we have the correct network? Do we have the resources necessary to go? A lot of times we just go on intuition and feeling. But as you said, inventory is very vital. A lot of times inventory of oneself, being able to understand if you have the time, the mental capacity, and the energy to do it. I've seen a lot of people in business that they literally should have just been business starters, but not executors. Right. Like, you should have just gave the idea to someone else and just said, loop me in. But I see a lot of people in this struggle space of them doing something that they never had the mental capacity, the energy, or the wherewithal to do it. So I think taking inventory of one's emotional stability, mental stability, and actual time to execute it is all a part of growth and expansion.
Definitely. And like you said before, you got to be able to figure out what your purpose is by looking at what you got going on. Like you said, you should have just gave that idea to somebody else and just been a part of it somehow, because a lot of people feel like, I have this idea, I need to protect it, I need to hide it from somebody because I don't want nobody to steal it. And when you said that, it made me think about those who can't teach. And, sometimes it's easier to teach somebody how to do something than to actually have your hands on everything. And me being somebody who's got my hands on a lot of stuff.
Me too.
I always think about, could somebody else do this or have done this better than me based on me showing them how to do it? It's always an inventory of time, because, time is a big factor. Even now, a lot of people not really working, you still got to pay attention to the time that you are spending on things.
Absolutely.
Unnecessarily.
Wasted time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Idle time, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, when you do your inventory, it allows you to, and I mean, and I guess it brings me to my next point. It says, be honest with what you see when you look at the inventory, because a lot of people will refuse to see what's really there while they're doing their inventory.
Right.
And yeah, so what you see, tell people how to be able to identify and be okay with what they see when they're doing their inventory.
Awesome. So as I said, first, all of my P's are going to align with what your questions. Don't know how it happened. It happened. I assure the viewers, we did not have a pre-discussion.
We did not.
Yes. But the next P is plan. And in my photo, it's called the blueprint, like in the details. It's likened into an architectural plan. And when you have that blueprint, it is very detail oriented, almost looping back to the inventory. You have to be very detailed. You have to have somebody with integrity, someone that's trustworthy, to line everything up and be okay with the results. Like, okay, I'm short here, I can't do that. But I think that goes back with the plan. A very well executed and thought out plan ensures that you're moving in the right direction. You'll know what's missing. You'll know where you need to get your resources. Like, I get a lot of people who support BTG, they're existing businesses. And one of the biggest areas I get is they're like, hey, I'm doing great. I don't know how to grow. I don't know how to expand. So literally, I'm like, okay, well, bring me back to your blueprint. Let me see the foundation of what you've done. And what I found is a lot of people don't even have a foundation. And it's so weird. The Bible talks about a person who builds their house on sand, another person that builds their house, different ways of building their house. And I think what is very vital as a part of any plan, and this is even for individuals who are replanning or redoing their blueprint all over, make sure your foundation is solid. One of the biggest things that I realized in 2020 as it relates to business, particularly small businesses, a lot of people didn't have their stuff together. They didn't have their foundation together. So when resources came, so when opportunity came knocking on the door, they literally had nowhere to go. One of the biggest things I preach is having a clear plan, running it across some people, double checking it, triple checking it, and making sure that it is pliable, meaning that you'll be able to interject, add, take away. All those other aspects are very essential. So first is understanding the purpose, which is taking inventory, as Terrell said. Next is the plan, which is like, where do I go? And making sure you have copious detailed notes for that plan is vital, really, for this next season and for your mental growth. Because without a plan, if you lost.
Yeah. I always say, and I always reiterate when I talk to people, that on my first day, one of my first days in college, one of my professors who he was real from day one. He always said, and I hear more often now, where if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And a lot of people don't. At the time, I didn't understand what he was talking about. And you know, I was young. And I'm thinking, I got a plan. I know who I am. I've been extremely transparent with myself. I got a plan. You're not going to tell me that it's not going to work. Until one day I woke up and it wasn't working. And I'm like, okay, maybe I don't have a plan. So let me go back and be real with myself when I do my inventory and figure out, okay, this is where I want to be. And here's how I get here. Here's the steps. And here's what I'm even capable of doing. Because a lot of times we have this idea in our mind that this is what it's supposed to be. And because I am everything and I can do everything. And then it's like, I ain't gonna be able to do that.
Yeah.
I can't do everything. You know,
you can't do everything. One of the biggest things that came was a check for me in 2020 was the power of collaboration. And it came with a level of transparency to myself that I had to and take inventory of. Greg, there is no possible way you can do it all. Collaboration means I am willing to be vulnerable enough to say I am not strong in these areas, and I'm okay with relinquishing it to those who are subject matter experts. And I saw such a magnanimous growth in my business when I said, you know what, Greg, you can do it. If you had to put a grade on it, you can do about a C or a B, but why not get someone who is A++ in that area to be a part of your team? So if nothing else, as a part of that mindset, being vulnerable to understanding that collaboration is key and understanding oneself. One of the biggest things I always tell people is examine yourself. And it's not a bad thing. Examine yourself and say, I can't do these things. I can't do these things. So those are very, very, very vital for this next season. Collaboration and being vulnerable about what you can and cannot do is going to help you propel to the next level.
And right now is the time to do that, you know, because you have a lot of people who are a little more comfortable with stepping out on faith on their dreams. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a lot of people who have got it in the rat race of, I got to go to work in order to make this paycheck because I got to pay my bills. And now, you know, COVID, as crazy as it's been and as crazy as it continues to be, it has created an avenue for people who are like, okay, you know, God, the universe, whoever we're, you know, praying towards a higher power said, let me come in and pull your distraction away from you. And show you that you're still going to make it. You're still going to be able to pay your bills. And now I'm going to give you all the time that you've been saying that you needed to do what you were put here to do. Find out what your purpose is. And now you can do what you want to do. And you're still safe. You're still sustaining everything. You might have to cut back on some things, but here's your opportunity to fulfill your purpose.
Absolutely. So, I think that is very, very key. That pause was necessary for so many of us. And really, a part of me felt like the universe, God, the gods to be literally was like, you told me you never had enough time. What's up? Here it is.
Yeah.
We talk about, I don't have enough hours in a day. I can't call everybody. I can't check in on my loved ones. I can't. And the universe was like, oh, okay, here's an automatic pause that you can't turn off. What you gonna do?
Exactly.
Yep.
Wow. So, and that brings me to my next one. It says, apply what you need and store what you may need later. Because a lot of people, as they find things out about themselves, they try to apply everything. And it's like, oh, I figured it out. Let me do that tomorrow. Oh, I figured I can do that. I can change this about myself. Let me do that tomorrow. I found this out about myself. Let me change it tomorrow. Those things take time. So when you do find these things out, you apply what you need, then you store the rest for later. And even if that means writing stuff down, if that means, I'm not sure if that next P, because like he said, we didn't have any kind of planned anything, but it's aligning so far. Maybe that next P will be that whole applying now and store what you need for later.
Yes. So I think the biggest thing, and I was having a conversation with someone that I'm preparing to advise in the next couple of weeks. The biggest thing that goes with that is, and this is something, it's like the secret sauce. We go back to the last P, which is about plan. At this point in juncture, because everything in my mind for you, for our viewers, for myself, for your plan is going to be connected to your trademark. And anybody that understands branding means you have to literally hoard that idea until it's executed out, until it's fleshed out. One of the things that, and I'm a believer, God literally was like, Greg, you got to write it out, one, so that you'll be able to measure growth. So that's key, and that's a part of the plan. But the other aspect of it is you have to understand timing. And timing is very key to when I give you the authority to release what I gave you. A lot of us are literally like so enthused and we're ready to go, but we have not really sorted all the way out. And really putting in tight, and it goes back to my word of infrastructure. Infrastructure says, and a great architect says, seasonality, environment, a lot of things play into building infrastructure up. Building a building in like a city like Chicago versus building a building in Miami, geographic location, all of those are pivotal things to keep in your mind as you're executing. So you just can't go out there and leap, because for some of us, if we go out and leap too soon, we'll never be able to get it back. And I think it happened to a lot of our forefathers, our parents, our grandparents, because they didn't have a plan, and because the energy of entrepreneurship and wanted the drive to be better, the drive and hunger to be successful, that drive to just really take care of your family, sometimes puts us out on an island in which we're not prepared to be on yet. Because once we go out there, when we go out on that island, we have to have every tool, every arsenal necessary to make it work. And we can't go back into the mainland and say, you know what, give me a second, let me get a few more things. Go back to timing. Is it now time for me to jump out? Is it now time for me to leap out? Is it now time for me to go? And I think it goes back to my next P, which is people. You got to have a team. You got to have people to manage it through, and you got to have a soundboard of people saying, no, that might not be it right now. What is that group of people around you, that circle of people who are supporting you, who don't have any intentions with it? One of the biggest things I share with people as you go in partnership business, have people around you who have nothing to gain, rather you win or lose. A lot of times we put people in our circle who are vested interest in what we're doing. And because they're vested interest in what they're doing, what we're doing, their advice is always skewed. What does it mean to have a team of people who don't want anything from you but for you to win? And
like you said before, partner with you, because I think back to when I was personal training and I had some really good classes, and I had a lot of people coming to me. I had one lady in particular. She was a personal trainer. And this is when I really started paying attention to the wording of people who say that they want to partner with me. So I'll even add that. Listen to the words when people approach you about a partnership, because her word was, hey, Tyrell, I see you have some really amazing classes. You're a really amazing personal trainer. I want you to come work for me. And I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. Tyrell's not working for you. You approached me, which means that you saw something in me that you need for your business. So Tyrell is willing to work with you, but Tyrell's not working for you.
You said something that is so keen in this journey of whatever you're trying to do. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, even if you're going to work for a job, understanding your value is key. What happens is that we undervalue our own intellectual property. We undervalue our own creative intuition, and we allow other people to sniff out of us what they see it. She didn't come over because you were beneath her. She came to you because she said, I need to connect with them to level up. So for a lot of people, be very keen about people who are wanting to galvanize themselves with you, because a lot of them, they see the potential past what you see it. So they're like, well, how do I get on this bandwagon and really take control over it before they get hold of it? So that was
definitely. And it's like you said before, surrounding yourself with people who, and it's okay to have those people around you that you're like, you know what, I might need you later on. I guess that's where the storing it for later, you know what I'm saying? Because they may not see their purpose of being around you, but you're like, you know what, later on, you're going to be good for whatever it may be. You may see these things and you're not going into it to use the people, but you definitely need to show people that, I'm not going to tell you no right away unless you just come with intentions all the way left. But I could use you for something, I want you to be around me. I want you to, and then when you have people around you, you need transparent people who you're not going to be offended when they're honest with you.
Absolutely.
And they're not going to be offended when you bring something to the table that may be off the wall. And I think that's also missing right now when it comes to changing your mind and preparing yourself for growth. People don't have enough truth in their circle, if you will.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody, because you hear it all the time, and it's like, oh, so-and-so is hating on me because I did this, or hating on me because I did. And it's like, no, so you telling me that ain't nothing wrong with you?
Right.
Yeah, something's wrong with you if you don't think that nothing is wrong with you. So
yeah. And if our viewers pay attention to really what you're doing, it's called Let's Heal. And I think the aspect of it is really that component you're talking about is how do one self-heal themselves and their insecurities, their idiosyncrasies, their own self-doubt, and really deal with that before they try and venture out. I always tell anybody I work with, when you're in business, particularly entrepreneurs, you're there to solve a problem. But how is it possible for you to help someone else solve their problems when you have question marks looming over your head? So I think forms like this is very vital to helping people say, hey, how do I heal, get myself together before I put myself out there? And then I'm now losing, but most importantly, I'm bleeding out or hurting other people because I wasn't ready. I wasn't healed. I wasn't whole. I wasn't full body, mind, and spirit all together. I was just partial. But those are very, 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 very key. For me, vulnerability was key to my success. I had been in business for going on almost 3-4 years, but I was not vulnerable enough. Self-awareness. I had to heal stuff unrelated to my business to be able to say, you know what, Greg, people are going to support you because of who you are. You don't have to hoard, and you don't have to do everything. Leave it to someone else to do, and let their strength be shown. What does it mean to allow people to have a step up, knowing putting them forward is helping you as well?
Right. And that's, it's crazy that you even bring up like Let's Heal and all of that stuff. Like I created Let's Heal 4 or 5 years ago. And it's just now really getting to a point because I had to do these things. Like you said before, you can't go talking about healing and you're not healed. You know what I'm saying? And when I say healing, that does not mean that Tyrell is perfect. So I don't expect you to come to me and try to be perfect. If you come, because when me being a life coach and people approach me and see me from what they see on social media, I'm like, I'm far from perfect. I love a good curse word, so I'm a cuss all the time.
Vulnerability.
Exactly. And my life is not, it's not glitz and glamour. I just enjoy my peace and happiness. I'm at a happy and a peaceful place. And I made a post earlier about when you find peace and happiness and they come together, it's a beautiful thing. When you're doing it for yourself, because a lot of people out there who are saying, I'm happy with the way things are, but they're not peaceful. Like peace is like that rock. And it's like, I need you to ease it up a little bit so it can come together and make something beautiful so you can have peace and happiness. It's okay to walk around, I'm happy. And then go home at the end of the day and you can't sleep because there's no peace in your happiness. Wow. Don't get me started.
But you said a very pivotal thing. And what it is when happiness and peace align, you actually have a really good defense system. The problem, and this is because we know everything is energy. A part of it, when you don't have right alignment with peace and right alignment with happiness, people are able to infiltrate what you're doing. So that's where one day you wake up, excuse me, and you're on cloud 9, and then the next day, or a couple of hours, or a bad driver in Atlanta traffic. Come on, Atlanta traffic could really get you in a whole nother direction to where your whole day is derailed. Peace and happiness aligned together is a defense mechanism because it consistently reminds you of where purpose is and where you're trying to go. And it blocks out all that negative energy. But when you have one without the other, it doesn't work. And as you said, peace is like that rock, and it has to mesh well. Yes, it can be tough, but it has to merge well with happiness. And it's not a perfect science every day. I like to tell people that you're not going to wake up every morning. But one of the things I do through affirmation, a number of things, is you demand that level of energy to come in your space. I will have peace. I will have happiness, and nothing is going to come into this aura of mine. You have control of the aura and the orbit of space around you.
And a lot of that for me, it starts first thing in the morning. And like I've talked to people before about controlling your own peace, because peace and happiness does not mean perfection. So, I don't want anybody to think that, once I find my peace, once I find my happiness is going to be perfect. Peace and happiness does not mean perfection. It does not mean that you're not going to have people that's not going to try you. It's not going to, it's not going to be that your business won't have a bad day if you're going into business. It's not that you're not going to have a bad day at work, because peace and happiness is never meant to mean perfection. Because if you were perfect, where would you grow from? Where would you learn from?
I think you need to put that on a t-shirt. What's happening?
I probably will. Peace and happiness is not perfection. So.
It's a misconception, is what it is.
Exactly.
It's a misconception. That is, and I actually want to pull back on that aspect of morning affirmations and devotion. It is very key to demand the energy that you want. And it goes back even to timing. One of the things that I was challenged in my prayer time is like, you're not giving enough time to what I need you to focus on. And what happened is my phone would derail me, or getting on social media would derail me. One of the biggest things as a part of my healing, even just going into this year, like Greg, even if it's 30 minutes, set it aside, uninterrupted, don't allow nothing besides the house being on fire. Break that routine. And it's in that routine that as you continue to grow, even if it's that small affirmation of I'm amazing, I'm going to make it happen, whatever that is, it is very essential. We are creatures of words. And no matter how much people read, words actually have life. And when we understand how much life it has, and what we audibly speak out of our minds out of our mouths daily, and what we put into the atmosphere is very essential. So I would challenge, as we are growing, as we're expanding, remember, we're talking about the mindset for growth. It requires intentional meditation, devotion, prayer, affirmation, whatever verbiage you choose to use, it requires. And I believe universe, God, whatever persuasion you are, rewards you for that level of dedication and commitment to consistency, because that is going to be it. Consistency in everywhere. Are you consistently on time? Are you consistently showing up? Are you consistently responding? Are you consistently balancing that checkbook? Are you consistently managing your relationships appropriately?
Right.
It is very, very important for consistency. But I've learned even in these short 27 days in 2021, how valuable consistency is. Honestly, a lot of times what I do in my devotion is really preparing me for what's about to happen in the day. And then I have that reminder of what I read, or if I heard a song, and it really steers me in the right direction so I can keep my happiness and my peace, which is really my safeguard from all that negative energy around me.
Oh yeah, definitely. The first thing that I do most mornings, I ain't gonna say every morning. It used to be every morning. Mm-hmm. I get up every morning, and the first thing I'm doing is meditating. And I do that because I need to be in check with my own energy. This is before I open up social media, before I invite anybody else's energy in. I need to make sure that my energy is in check. And I think that's where changing the mindset, it kind of messes up, because people will wait until they have been thrown off to say, let me get myself in check. And it's like, well, if you already had yourself in check before you got to the situation, we would have to be getting ourselves in check because you're already there. People gonna piss you off. You know what you take a couple minutes for, and it's like, you know what? All right, I'm glad you got that out. Have a good day. I'm not gonna let you disrupt or disturb my peace. So have a good day. You know, so I usually get myself in check before I invite anybody else, because even opening up like social media, that invites other people's energy, other people's thoughts, other people's spirits into you.
Can you say that again?
You get yourself together in the morning.
People understand what social media is doing to them. When you open it up, everything they are projecting has now come into your space.
Before you even had an opportunity to wake up for real.
Whatever they're doing, rather it be a happy birthday, rather it be like what's going on in the government, rather it's I'm mad with my boss, my relationship status, where I'm traveling to, all of that plays into your energy space. And I know for some people it plays to the mind, and I've had to talk some friends out of it. They live on social media. Social media has changed their energy to where they've now went into a space of regret and self-sabotage, because they're now comparing other people's circumstances through a post. They've now derailed their entire circumstance watching someone else post, I'm now in a relationship, or I'm traveling, or I just started a new job, or congratulations, I'm with child. How then does someone else's moments, because that's all social media are, their moments, how then you let that moment shift everything for you and put you in a space of regret? Right. Mindset shift. When you align yourself, meditate, pray, have devotion, you're not even worried to consume. A lot of times when I see it, I'm like, man, I'm just waiting for my post to come through. I'm not even considering, you know, me, it becomes motivation. It's food, it's muscle milk for me, but everyone have that same mindset. So I would encourage you really, if anything can shift this year, hold off on opening social media before you even put feet on the floor. You know, definitely. Meditate, pray, do your devotion, do your affirmation, and then hop in social media if that's what you so choose.
Yeah, if you don't take nothing else from this, take that, definitely. So we can talk about this all day long. So next, and it kind of aligns with everything else, embrace the change. That's my next topic, embracing the change, because you know, when you get to a certain age or particular status as far as life goes, people refuse to embrace the change, because it's like, I fought so hard for, you know, and I say these things and I'm not, you know, downplaying any of these things, because I always tell people to find out who you are outside of your degree and your job title, your money, things like that. You know, they say, well, I worked so hard to get this degree. I worked so hard to have this relationship. I worked so hard to have this job. And it's like, so what happens when things change in that situation? Are you prepared for that change? Are you even going to be willing to? Because if you're not prepared for it, you're not even going to embrace it. You're going to fight it. And it's going to be a hard point in your life where it's like, I worked hard for this. Why are you coming in to destroy what I built so hard for? You know, You're not supposed to change that. I don't like what nobody really likes change. But guess what? Change is constant. India Arie, one of my favorite artists, said that a long time ago. The only thing constant in the world is change. That's why I take each day as it comes.
As it comes. Yes.
Bam. There it is.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things is this misconception about change. One of the things that eradicated and shook me was this aspect of we are living for someone to read our autobiography. And unfortunately, when we fully don't accept change, we've left people at a chapter and they can't move on to the next chapter.
Right.
So we have moved on
the chapter
in our life, because every day we get up, every opportunity to do something else, every new business, every new connection is another part of our journey and our story. But are we robbing other people of the autobiography of being blessed or being helped through our journey because we've put a halt on accepting change as a part of the journey? That it's really the formula to make it happen. But a lot of us say, you know what, I'm stopped on chapter 5. I really don't like what happened in 2020. I really don't like what happened with this. And we put a pause on it instead of saying, you know what, let me move on. That doesn't mean I can't revisit that chapter because it's already laid out and written. But we'll stay there and put a D in, or we'll put a bookmark there, and other people are waiting on what's next. A lot of us don't even understand how many people, are indirectly watching us, and how we handle transition, how we handle change. And as I go back to the analogy of the architect, when you think about someone building a building or building anything, think about how many times there's changes that happen in that process. Do you think the architect say, you know what, man, I'm done with this building? No, it was literally things, price change, environment change, relationship change, people change, government change. And if we fully accept that it happens, then we'd be able to be a little bit more pliable, a little bit more fluid, and say, you know what, great. All it did was give me another perspective about another way I could go.
Right. And that's what life is all about, because when you have that perspective from the changes that you've been through in life, you can identify problems a lot sooner, and you can always get away from them a whole lot sooner once you're able to identify them. You know, we go through change, we go through hard times, we go through bad times to be able to say, I know what that looks like. I'm gonna go through it. I ain't gonna be here long. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go through it because I gotta go through it to get to the other side to learn what I'm supposed to learn over there. I ain't gonna be here long though, because I've spent all that time before. But I'm gonna go through it. But you know, and appreciate it. You gotta appreciate that change. So
that is so crazy. It, like, I look back in my notes and it drives me right back to the first P, purpose. When purpose, change, and pivots, you like, look, all right, great, that's a part of it. But as I said, purpose is connected to identity. You can identify, I already know what to do with this circumstance. I already know how to approach it because I've been there, done that. But the is you're able to help a massive amount of other people not have that hurdle, because you're able to say, this is what you do. This is what you avoid. Even for me as a business owner, I offer advice because I've been in the business space, the retail space. I'm a retail executive. I've been in that space for so long. I've made mistakes, year over year. But I've also had some wins and some great things about what to do and how to run a business. So one of the biggest things that I love to do is share people my mistakes. As a young lady, the things I did, the bad people choices I made, the bad impulsive decisions I made, the times I didn't plan thoroughly, and then something I didn't expect came because I didn't sort out the bad results of me not having the right stakeholders, people investing in what I'm trying to do, hiring the right team. All of those were a part of it. And when we really have purpose is the destination. I love to give this analogy of when we're driving from Georgia to California, it's so many interstates and routes we can take to get there. But purpose is, my eye is on California. If I have to go by way of Texas or by way of Tennessee, whichever route I have to take, I understand purpose says I might have to do a little, detour route, but it's necessary to get me to my end goal, which is purpose.
And and I've said before, and I will continue to say, because it's something that I live by. When I do stuff and I go through things, I started telling myself these things, in order to understand and appreciate my own purpose. I had to understand that I was taught lessons to teach lessons. And life does that. So when life starts teaching you lessons, you don't hold on to them and say, that's mine. You're taught lessons to teach lessons. So if you are able to get through it and you can help somebody get through something a lot faster, as long as that person is open and willing to allow you to help them, you were taught a lesson, and you being a human being.
Yeah.
If you have any kind of feelings or emotion for people in general, you are taught lessons to teach lessons. And when you teach somebody else, you don't just say, well, here's what I learned. You check in on them. You show them that they're supported, because if you've been through that lesson, I'm sure you know what it's like to not have the support.
Absolutely.
Whether no matter how big or small it was. So you're taught lessons to teach lessons in order to embrace the change, because change is going to happen.
You over here making t-shirt slogans, all kinds of stuff. I'm loving it. I think, and this is the thing about, and this goes back to our culture and our heritage, storytelling and sharing how we overcome has been a part of our DNA. And I think at some point in time, over whatever span of time, we forgot and we stopped telling the stories of overcoming, which is why people don't. They're running into walls. They're running into hard places because someone failed in the craziness of life, in the hustle and bustle of what we're doing. We failed to step up to our own personal platform, our own personal microphone, and share our story, share our experience with someone else, so that they can literally not go in that direction. But we have really robbed people of that. It is our heritage. When you think about, a lot of us can all go back and say, Grandma taught me this, and Granddad taught me this. That lineage of really sharing has really been broken. And I hope during COVID, we was allowed to, if nothing else, I learned a lot about my family. I learned a lot about myself, my friends, because I slowed down and paused long enough to be able to share those experiences. And if nothing else this year, even the people that are watching, the people that will watch this later, be committed to being not only the person that is taught, but being the teacher in this season. Because what you have, what you've discovered, what your eyes have seen is literally the secret sauce to someone else's future. And you have to be intentional as saying, you know what, even if I have to do it in the form of a Facebook post or a live or a small group or whatever, even if it's in the form of a text message, it might be, hey, I see something on social media. Let me offer you advice, or let me give you my experience. This year, don't rob people of the story. Tell the story. It is going to be so important to helping people overcome. It's in our DNA. It's in our DNA.
Definitely. And I feel like that's going to be, pivotal in the growth and success for the next generation at this point. Because, I feel like, to be completely honest, I feel like this generation that's younger than myself is a little lost, but that's a whole nother topic and a whole nother subject. We're not going to go into a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about my last point. And the point, I said, create boundaries that allow you to protect your peace and happiness. And now through all that change and all that inviting people in and things like that, I chose create boundaries because people feel like, I got to tell them everything. I got to give them everything. And I always say, when I give, the energy that I give to people, it comes from a reservoir, because it's my responsibility to keep myself on full. So if I'm keeping myself on full, I'm not going to let you tap into my full tank. I'm going to give you from what I got left over, so it doesn't affect my full.
You said a whole... What hit me in that moment is God was saying I had to hit a pause button because a lot of us have been exhausted and fatigued. And that's because we have been given of ourselves so much trying to accomplish something. And the biggest thing he said is, I am responsible for the end result, not you. You're only responsible for following the direction. And I think the biggest thing that's happened is that we've put ourselves responsible for the end result, and we've exhausted ourselves. We've exhausted our resources. That's why we have some people are experiencing failed marriages and failed relationships and failed businesses and failed ideas, because we're trying to create the end. And all I know is we're just supposed to follow the path. And if we're following the path, we won't be exhausted, because we'll be so in tune to know to say, you know what, that's a conversation I shouldn't participate in. You know what, that's a room that I should not go in. But our senses are off because we're exhausted and fatigued. And if I can share anything, self-awareness, self-healing, self-rejuvenation, self-remodelation are very key. Replenish yourself. Stow away. This week, I am actually on a vacation away from work, and it's a staycation at home with my own thoughts, with my own journaling, with my own devotion, with me stewarding my time, having conversations with people that I value the most, things that I couldn't do on a normal week. But instead of being on a beach, which I would love to be on, or somewhere else, I decided to steward and be intentional about what I'm doing. Guys, don't pour out so much to where your reservoir is empty. I mean, empty. And then the irony of it is a lot of us are pouring into people who have no vessel to pour back into us.
And you got to be able to identify those people.
Yes.
You got to be able to identify people who come to you like a plug. They, people will treat you like a socket if you allow them. Absolutely. And when you got people that come to you and they come with their plug, it's like, hold on. I'm not letting it happen, because I see you. I see that. I see it. Absolutely not. And it's okay to say no. You're going to have some people that are resistant to your no. Come on, word. Resistant to your no.
Resistant to your no.
But
it's okay. I got something for that. This is what you do for your plug. Plug one of these in. For anybody with the baby care, plug one of these in. This is put it on my floor. Put this in the pocket and let them. They can't infiltrate it. Put one of these in.
All.
That's it.
That's your protection to your peace and happiness. Get you one of those, because
put a cap on it. Understand and knowing when it's important. We put these on sockets because we understand the electrical capacity of an outlet. Come on, somebody. And we don't want our adolescents and our toddlers to be able to put something in it. But for some of us, you got to use one of these for our adults. Put a socket in.
Definitely.
This next season, put one of these in so that you'll be able to reserve your energy and your power and your strength for this next season.
Definitely. Oh my gosh.
You're trying to stir me up over here.
I can see. I'm trying to hold myself down.
I'm about to take a drink of water.
Right, because you already know when you feel passionate, like I feel like the passion of growth and change and expansion and happiness. Like, I am all about peace and happiness. Like, when I found, like I said, I created Let's Heal years ago, but over the last year or so, I focused on finding my peace and happiness and finding out what the purpose of Let's Heal was. Because when God brought me the idea of Let's Heal, he didn't want it to be I'm better than, or I healed before, or I healed better than. That's where the whole let's come from. Because let's is inclusive. I want me to be able to heal and you to be able to heal. We should be able to heal. So let's heal. And that's where I come from. So when I'm happy and things like that, it's because I'm happy for me. I'm genuinely happy for me. And if you want to get there and be happy with yours, I'm here to help you. I'm taught lessons to teach lessons. So let's heal. Anyway.
Put it on a t-shirt. That's what I got to say.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's a whole thing. Back to language is key. Let's heal. It's that idea of I haven't made it too far out, and I haven't made it too far along that I can't work alongside you. And healing is people think that healing is a location. It's actually something that is ever evolving. Every day that we put ourselves out in the universe or wake up, there is another aspect of us that is healing genetically, scientifically. It's happened. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Someone, my aunt says, I'm a block. She gonna buy the t-shirt. You better get on it. But even just like this, the healing, like when we sleep, we're healing. It is a consistent, ongoing thing. And I love it. That's why I say heal in everything. And don't just make it about our physical being. It's our mental, it's our relationships, it's our business. It's the way we carry ourselves, all that.
Yep, all of those things. Oh my gosh, this conversation was amazing. Amazing. So do you have anything that you want to add to what we just talked about, or anything you want to, talk to the people about, since we're all on here and we out here trying to give, we try not to turn it into a church sermon, because I almost really got my rag in my water.
I was told what's in you is bound to come out. So no, I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. If nothing else, I think you and our connection in this aspect of collaboration, you offer so much to the community of people that you follow. I offer something, but when we collab and bring intentional relationships together, I think it's very vital. And that's what I'm doing with BTG Solutions. And it really stands for bridging the gap. That's literally what it is. And I want to be that bridge. And a lot of times I don't have the connector. What I'm responsible is saying, hey, I got a few folks over here that can help you, rather it be heal, rather it be restore, rather it be build up, whatever it is. But one of the biggest things that I do want to do, and this is for individuals who are watching the podcast or who will watch it later, I'm inviting you to follow me at btgsolutions.com. And anyone that type in the notes or in the message or DM me that with the message of Let's Heal, I want to offer you a 15-minute consultation. It could be about your business. It could be about you. It could be about an idea, a consultation, a concept, whatever it is. If you even heard something today that you thought was amazing, you want some intel, follow me on IG as well as Facebook on BTG Solutions. But if you want that free 15-minute consultation, put in the note, Let's Heal, in my DM for BTG Solutions. And I will make sure that I grant you a 15-minute consultation, because I understand a lot of times for a lot of us, we just need that jump start. It's just that little one push to get us where we need. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to share and be on your platform. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you, taking out the time to come on and be a part of the Let's Heal family, because over here we create family. Like we have family over here. So you are a part of the Let's Heal family now. And I appreciate you for coming on and giving your insight and all the positive energy that you have. And, so I think you already told everybody where to find you at. So you might want to repeat, just in case somebody forgot or didn't listen or didn't write it down. Let everybody know how to find you before we close this podcast out.
Absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram as well as Facebook at btgsolutions.com. If you want to send me an email, you can send me an email to info at btgatlanta.com. Again, it's going to be info at btgatlanta.com. But the quickest way is to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, on BTG Solutions. Thank you guys so much for your time, your effort, your feedback. T, you got to get on them t-shirts, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to be on that. I guess some more stuff to put on my plate, but I'm going to make it happen.
You're more than able.
Yes, definitely. So everybody who is watching, I appreciate you all for watching. Please make sure that you like and share this video. This live right here will also be available on podcast at midnight tonight, if not earlier. So again, y'all know where I am. Follow me at Live Well with Tyrell or Let's Heal Doc on Instagram or Facebook. So until next time, it was fun. I appreciate it. And I thank Greg for coming on today. And I will chat with you all later. See y'all later. Bye.